Step by step on business. That's on my mama, watch me spin on me and split, now I can't feel it. We in the trap, we sold the city on my biddy. Take these diamonds off and show you how we lit it.
Welcome back to another episode of Before the Horn podcast. This is episode 66. As you know, I'm your host, Khalil. With me, as always, I got my guy, Daywan.
Hi, guys.
This guy. He's in a good mood right now, but he's not going to be happy by the end of this. I'll tell y'all that right now. But anyway, let's jump into it. We got a whole lot of basketball to talk about. The Celtics have clinched a spot in the NBA Finals. We're currently watching Game 5 right now. The Mavs are up 3-1. The score is 31-18, so we're going to see how this play out. Luka is playing phenomenal right now. As well as talk about UFC 302. Big card, big weekend with the lightweight championship on the line. So we definitely got to dive into that. And to wrap things up as well, we're going to talk about Hard Knocks. The Bears, Chicago Bears, are the team that's going to be on Hard Knocks this year. We're going to give our thoughts and opinions and what we hope and look for and see from this upcoming season of Hard Knocks. But without further ado, take it away, Daywan.
Welcome back, guys. Episode 66. Let's get it. Let's kick it off with the NBA playoffs. Let's talk about the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics have clinched a finals berth for the first time in 2 years as they swept the Indiana Pacers. It was a very, very tough, grueling series. Khalil, I want to hear your whole thoughts on the whole series in general.
There's a couple ways you could go about it when you really look at it. We could talk about how this is probably one of the easiest paths to the finals. When we look at the road that Boston took to get here, no Jimmy Butler. The last two games of the series, Donovan Mitchell was out. Last two games of this series, Tyrese Halliburton was out. But this team came out and did what they had to do. I mean, my only displeasure was how close these games were and how, these games could have went either way. If this was a slightly better team, who knows? These games could have swung the other way, and we could have a series on our hands right now. We could still be talking about, it being 3-2 or, whatever the case may be at this point. But they went out there, they did what they had to do. They closed out 3 close games. And that was one of the biggest things that we had to also worry about with this Boston team was what are they going to look like when they actually have stiff competition and have to, these nip and tuck ball games? Because everybody thought they were just going to coast through these teams, given the fact, the lack of star power that these teams possessed or, the capabilities compared to this other team. Good news is they get about 10 days off between now and the NBA Finals. Kristaps Porzingis hopefully will be back by then. I think they're going to need him in this next series, whoever they play, the Mavs or Timberwolves. We're going to discuss that at another later date and time once that is final. But all in all, like, Jaylen Brown showed why he should have been All NBA. We had a discussion last week. We both had him on our All NBA third team, if I'm not mistaken. And he showed why. He said he never won anything, but this year he won the Larry Bird Trophy, which is the MVP of the conference finals. So, looking right now, like, everybody's rolling. We've seen some Drew Holiday sightings in this series as well. Him scoring, 26 points, I think, in the game, 26 or 28 points in the game. So, the thing that this Boston team has that a lot of other teams don't have, you have legit 4 to 5 guys with Kristaps Porzingis in the lineup that can go give you 20 at any night. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Drew Holiday, or Kristaps Porzingis, any one of them can get hot. And the thing I do like, I'm not the biggest fan of the offense sometimes, but the thing I do like is that if a guy got it rolling, they don't have no problem deferring to that guy, whether it is, a Derek White who's not a superstar on the team, but if he has it going one night, they're going to roll it. They're going to keep rolling off him. So I love that from them. Even though I'm not too high on the offense still, sometimes I think the ball gets stagnant. Sometimes the ball will touch Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown hands and never move again. And sometimes I feel like you got to get the ball up to get a better shot. It doesn't mean just because you get a ball up doesn't mean you can't get it back. And sometimes I feel like they forget that sometimes and, get a little one-track minded and kind of force shots sometimes. And, they got let off the hook because they was the better team in this series. So they came down in the clutch and did what they had to do. But it's not going to be like that in the finals, depending on who they play, especially if it's the Dallas Mavericks, when, a lot of talk around media has been two of the best closers in the NBA. Luka and Kyrie can close games. So if you think you're going to let these teams, hang around, have the lead, and y'all come back late, Luka and Kyrie not having that, or even Ant-Man, he's not having that. We see him in game 4, shut that game out. with a dagger mid range. So Luke, he's not having that either. So I think they're gonna have to tighten up some areas if they do want to win the championship. But all in all, they did what they had to do. They finished them out in 4. You get 10 days of rest. So hats off to the Boston Celtics for making it back to the NBA Finals.
This whole series, I was on the edge of my seat every freaking game, starting from game 1. Now, Khalil knows what I'm talking about because I was getting so adamant and pissed off game 1. I'm like, yo, the Celtics are so soft. But the Pacers really just came out to play. And I'm not gonna lie, I was like, bro, what's going on? And I feel like for the best thing for the Celtics was for Tyrese Halliburton to get hurt. And I don't wish injury on nobody. I'm not saying that. But that was the best thing because if he was healthy, and again, I'm not the biggest fan of Tyrese Halliburton, the series could have been different. Now, the Pacers did have more ropes. Game 1, 3, and 4. Game 2 was the only outright game Boston did their thing. But the Pacers should be up 3-1 in this series. This series should be still going on, in my opinion. But the Pacers, they're just the ultimate chokers. They just can't, they can't finish. For the first 36 minutes of basketball, the Pacers will be up in this series. But hey, there's 12 more minutes on the clock. They got to learn how to close games out. Again, this is a young team. Rick Carlisle has been a head coach before. He has to be better, though. In certain situations, he has to be much, much better. Like not calling timeouts, not having a team in the best situation at the times. It really screwed them and gave Boston very, very easy victories. But kudos to the Indiana Pacers for sticking it out, and they gave Boston a fight. A team that was filled with a couple injuries to the key players, they still gave one of the best teams in the NBA, in my opinion, the best team in the NBA, a fight. Now, just like Khalil said, for the Boston Celtics, I'm not the biggest fan of their offensive basketball sometimes, and I've said this before. I don't really like the 3-and-D method because they just shoot so much, and when they're off that night, they're really, really off. But they do have 5 players. I hope Porzingis comes back, but they have 5 players that can just give you a 20 clip at any time, just like Khalil said. But there's times where Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, yes, they are the best players on the team, but when they don't have a hot hand, they still try to force shots and they try to do too much. Like, it's a couple games where Jaylen Brown is leading saving Jason Tatum. Now, vice versa. There's other games where Jason Tatum is saving Jaylen Brown. And then there's games where the supporting cast is saving both of them. We've seen it many times this year. And I just don't like to see that. But Tatum got to have that dog in him. Like, bro, you're 6'8". Like, bro, drive to the rack, bro. Like, stop taking all these outside shots. You can drive to the rack. He's a good finisher at the rim when he drives. He's a pretty good shooter, too. Now, Jaylen Brown, I'm really happy for him that he won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, the Larry Bird Trophy. But he definitely should have been a third-team All-NBA. Like, me and Khalil said that the other day. But all in all, this is a great series by the Boston Celtics, even better than the Indiana Pacers. But Boston got their work cut out for them in the NBA Finals, no matter who they see coming out the West. Because I can tell you right now, and I put money on the Minnesota Timberwolves, but obviously Dallas is putting a stomping on them. But they see Dallas or Minnesota, don't matter who they see, they got their work cut out for them. It's going to be really, really tough. But Boston, congrats on going back to the NBA Finals. You haven't been there in 2 years. Y'all went 2 years ago. Y'all faced the experienced Warriors team who just got there by luck. Again, I don't care. Draymond didn't deserve that 4th ring, let alone he didn't deserve his other 3 rings. But Boston had a young team back then. This team is going to be probably the most complete team in the finals since 2008.
So I got a question for you. Going into the finals, I believe it starts June 6th, next Thursday.
Yep, June 6th.
Who do you think is the most important player for Boston to win the championship? Who is going to be that X factor that needs to show up and play big?
I'm going to say 2 players. I'm going to say, obviously, first, Jason Tatum. That whole 2022 playoff run, this man finished off with over 100 turnovers in the whole postseason. That was crap. That was terrible. Now we fast forward 2 years later, he's back in the finals again. He got to stop all that Kobe stuff. Like, Kobe was in my dream, like all this Kobe nonsense. Bro, leave Kobe out of it. Leave Kobe out of it, because that really gave you bad juju, bro. And everybody in the world was crapping on you, saying like, yeah, I thought you had that Kobe in you. But Jason Tatum has to step up. This is his time. Like, this is probably the most easiest run he had to the finals. He has to redeem himself. He has to prove that he's a top 5 player in this league. If Jason Tatum does not go out there and win these NBA finals, there's going to be legit conversations occurring whether he's even like top 5 or arguably top 5, because he just can't get it done. And he's not, he can't close that well. He can't get it done when it matters. Bro, this man's 25. He might be 26. He's been in the league since he was 18. He's been to the many Eastern Conference Finals. He's been to NBA Finals once. He couldn't get it done. This is his time, no matter who you're facing, Dallas or Minnesota. I feel like Boston's the favorite team against either one of these teams. Not going to be easy, but Boston's definitely favorite. So Tatum has to show up and take great shots, play great defense, be a great leader. And then I'm going to say my second player for the Celtics, I'm going to say it's going to be Drew Holiday. Again, Drew Holiday's been to the NBA Finals before. Drew Holiday was second team all defense with Derek White. They're both great defenders, but I'm going to give Drew Holiday more edge, because Drew Holiday at any time, he's very quiet. He get past the ball, play defense, rebound. Anything you need Drew Holiday to do, he can do. And I feel like whoever he faces, whether it's Ant-Man or Luka or Kyrie, he gonna play great defense. So is Derek White. But I'm gonna say Drew Holiday just because I got the more veteran experience there, and Drew Holiday's been to the finals before. So I'm gonna say Jason Tatum and Drew Holiday. What about you?
I got two guys as well.
Okay. Look at
uh,
my son.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. First of all. Second of all, I think it's your two all defensive second team players that you have on that roster, Drew Holiday and Derek White. Because I think they're gonna grab the assignment of Kyrie and Luka if they make it to the
Yeah.
finals, or Ant-Man if that's the case. You know, you can't rule them out. But I'm gonna just for the sake of this argument say the Mavs are gonna make it, and you're gonna have a lot on your hands. You're gonna have a lot on your hands from the standpoint of that you're gonna be asked to, guard the two best players, arguably the one of the best backcourts of all time. When we talk about skill with the basketball in their hands, two of the most skilled basketball players ever to play this game, you're gonna have to be asked to guard them too, but also asked to give you at least like 15 points a night. Because that's the real X factor in this. If I'm being honest, is if they're exerting so much energy on the defensive end that they don't have the legs or the push to get those shots off that those key Derek White points or those key Drew Holiday points, especially if this series gets elongated
Yeah.
4 or 5, 6, 7
They gonna
games.
need it.
You
They gonna
got you
need
got
it.
you got a handful. So I think those two are the biggest X factors to this, just because the simple fact, like I said, you asked to do a lot on both ends of the basketball, so they're going to need the production from both ends of the basketball. Another question for you:
What's up?
What do you think a championship does for Jason Tatum legacy? Like, where does that? Do you think he's the face of the NBA? Where does he land in this NBA pecking order at this point if he wins the championship and Finals MVP?
Well, I feel like the NBA has been trying to like allow him to be the face of the NBA. Again, he just doesn't have that dog in him. And they're like, dude, like it's been very favorable for you the last since you got in the league as a rookie. Besides 1 year where Boston just was injury depleted. I believe that was in the 2020 or 2021 season where they were just injury depleted and Tatum was the only healthy player on Boston. But besides that, Tatum has been to the playoffs every year, past the first round every year, besides that 1 year. But what this does for Jason Tatum and his legacy, a finals ring and MVP would definitely help him a lot. I don't think it makes him the face of the league, though. I'm sorry.
No,
No, I don't think so. And again, Boston fan, love Jason Tatum. I love him and I hate him at the same time. But there's still Giannis Antetokounmpo. There's still Anthony Edwards. There's still Luka Doncic. Come on, like no, no.
you got
Tatum,
SGA, Jokic.
yeah, exactly. Like there's players, other players in this league, great players that I feel like they just got that dog in them. Tatum, he's on a cusp of top five. Jason Tatum was on a cusp of top five. Even with a finals ring and MVP, it won't elevate him into that top five. But it definitely would be beneficial to his legacy, but not make him top five.
It's tough because I'm a
It
Jason
is.
Tatum fan as well. I've been a Jason Tatum fan since high school, since he was at Shaman on St. Louis. Honestly, I've been following him since then, and I've always rooted for Jason Tatum, good or bad. I always thought he had the potential to eventually become an NBA
He does.
MVP or anything like that.
He did. Every year he does.
I mean, when you look at what he will accomplish, he's only what 26, right?
Not even.
So
Not even.
By the age of 26, he will have a finals championship under his belt with the finals MVP. Honestly, comparing to like LeBron or people like that, he will have won before them. 5-time All-Star game MVP in 2023, 3-time first team NBA, 1-time all third team NBA. I mean, stacking a pretty good resume, and I think it would do a lot for his legacy. The only thing I feel like he'll be missing at this point is an MVP from everything else that he's accomplished in the NBA at such a young age. But I don't know. I think for him to become the face of the NBA, he would have to play phenomenal. He would
Yeah, he
have
has to.
to.
No, he literally has
He
to.
would have to outplay Luka or Ant-Man,
He
because
has to.
that's who you're competing against at this point. You like we're trying. They're trying to anoint a lot. A lot lately, they've been trying to anoint somebody the new face of the NBA. Even though LeBron, KD, Steph, they're all still in the league, so they still have a little bit more time before there's a face of the NBA. But when you look at the young guys out there, his competition will either be Ant or Luka. He's going to see one of them in the finals. So you can make a statement there. You got SGA who came in second for the MVP. Who me personally, I had him as an MVP. Nikola Jokic, it's kind of just hard to love Nikola off the court just because it seems like he really don't care about basketball. He plays basketball as a
He
day
don't.
job. Like he got to go
He
clock
don't
in at
care,
work
bro.
like anybody else. Like shit, I guess I got to go hoop. Like that's how he look at it. And then you got Giannis, who's been hurt this past couple postseasons. So like he's kind of been out of the picture as far as when all eyes on NBA. He hasn't really been there, so it's kind of hard. So I think he will have a good argument to be the face of the NBA. But if I had to put my money on it, I think it would be Luka. If I'm being 100% honest, I think Luka is going to eventually be the face of the NBA. But legacy wise, I think this is going to do a lot for him, especially if he gets the MVP as well. Like this is just going to put him in arguably top 75 at that point. When we look at one of the past lists that came out, you got to start to put him in lists like that because
You
he's
have
a
to
Finals
if you get a ring.
MVP,
Yeah.
3-time All NBA, third team, Finals. I mean not final, All-Star Game MVP. You got to start to have those discussions of, where are we going to start to put him in those all-time conversations? Where does he fall in that pecking order? Is he 50 through 75 now? We're going to start to have those conversations about Jason Tatum. So I think this finals can do a lot for him because he's already accomplished a lot. So like I think that's the thing with him. Like he's done so much in such a short amount of time, given the fact. Remember, at the age of 19, he was playing the conference finals, dunking on LeBron. He's been in the spotlight for so long that it's pretty much needed at this point. And if not, now we're kind of turning the eye to him, kind of how we started to do with Giannis at a point and Jokic at a point, before they got their championship, it was like, yeah, they're doing this, but postseason, they haven't won a ring yet. So that's what we're going to start to look at Jason Tatum. And the thing with Jason Tatum is he's not going to have the MVPs like Jokic and Giannis had, or even Embiid. That's where kind of Embiid is at now because, he's had an MVP, but he hasn't made it past the second round. So we're kind of starting to scoff at what he's doing on the basketball court during the regular season because he hasn't done it in the postseason. So I think it's going to be the same thing for Jason Tatum. That's why I think he needs to win this ring as well.
All right, let's move on to the next series, the Western Conference Finals. As Khalil said earlier, the Dallas Mavericks are up in the series and they're currently up in Game 5. Dallas is up 3-1. But what's your overall thoughts on the series, and can they close this out before we post this episode?
It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. There's a reason why I picked them. I did pick them to win in 6. I'm not gonna lie. It's okay. He better Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, look,
So,
don't do that. Don't do that.
Like that's who he put his money on, Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns.
Cat Rudy, I hate y'all.
So I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, when we look at Luka and Kyrie has been phenomenal. It's been Luka or Kyrie or Luka or Kyrie, like all like in this series, and they have come out the best 2 players in this series because what this series has really came down to is what 2 duos can play the best. And games 1 through 3, Kyrie and Luka was phenomenal. They
played
the
great.
Best. They played great. Luka's been great throughout the whole series. He's been a matchup problem for anybody who's guarding him. You want to talk about they started off with Jaden McDaniels. He was giving Jaden McDaniels buckets, even though Jaden McDaniels is a defensive player. Don't get me wrong. He's 6'9", he's long. He has the length to guard him. But Luka is just too good at it. And then you had Ant-Man, who had to take the job of guarding Kyrie. And then they're switching them on to Luka now, and that's just a lot to ask for. Luka has, in this Game 5 alone, as we've been watching, he's been going crazy in Game 5. He came out 20 points in the first quarter, so he's looking to try to close this thing out before tonight's over. So we're gonna see what happens there. But on the other end, the duo of Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns just have not been playing good. Anthony Edwards have been shooting like for most of the series, going back into the last series against Denver. He was not shooting the basketball pretty good and not efficiently at all. He had some bad turnovers at crucial point of the games. Sometimes he still has those. He makes those young plays sometimes. Sometimes he gets caught in the air with nowhere to go with the basketball or stuff like that. And then sometimes he does something phenomenal. So, I think this is just a growing period for Anthony Edwards. I think this is going to be a great learning experience for him. like I said, I got the Mavs winning. I think the Mavs close this thing out tonight. Looking forward to next year. This is going to be a great, learning experience, something to build on, something to work on. I think his decision maker is going to get better, as time go on. But, I don't like the fact that we're letting the other number one overall draft pick on his team off the hook. And you know me, man. I'm a Jersey guy. I love Jersey people from Jersey who's representing Jersey. But this guy, I can't, bro. He's 7 foot. He plays soft. He does not
Play
play with
soft,
grit.
man.
He just shoots the basketball too much.
He's soft as dog shit.
I've seen him. I've seen him with like Luca on him or Derek Jones on him, and those guys are like 6'8", and you're 7 feet, and you're still playing on the outside, bro. Like, what are you doing, bro? You're 7 feet, bro. Play down low. Be aggressive. Be assertive. You're supposed to be a number one overall draft pick for a reason. You want to say you're the best shooting big man of all time. You were shooting 14% from the three before game 4 when you went 4 for 5. But even in that game, you fouled out. And this is one of the problems with Cat as well. You do dumb fouls. About at least 3 or 4 of those fouls you didn't was ill-advised.
You didn't need to do.
You didn't need. And that's been putting your team in jeopardy. Just so luckily that, Ant-Man did what he did at the end of the game to, close it out and, get it off the hook. Because if y'all would have lost that game, they definitely would have been talking about you fouling out. And, sometimes I feel like he escapes criticism. He escapes a lot of criticism.
He does. No, he definitely does.
Because I don't think he's held to the same standard as most number one overall draft picks. Especially a guy with this much skill and this much talent. For the way he plays, it's bad. And then you look at Rudy Gobert as well. I don't know how he got Defensive Player of the Year. It's the same. It's the same stuff every time.
This man been baked chicken, bro. He been baked chicken.
How are you supposed to be the Defensive Player of the Year, but your team looks better with you off the floor? I like the matchup of when they have Naz Reid and Karl Anthony Towns as your two bigs without Rudy Gobert on the floor. One, it spaces the floor a lot as well because that gives Ant-Man a lot more space to operate. And I think, that opens up a lot of shooters as well. Alexander Walker can hit threes. Mike Conley can hit threes. Jaden McDaniels can hit threes. You give, Edwards the space to operate. When Rudy Gobert's on the court, he's no good outside of 5 feet. And even inside of 5 feet, sometimes he's horrible. So, he's just a liability on both sides of the basketball court, in my personal opinion. And then the two bigs for Dallas, they've been playing phenomenal. They didn't have Derek Lively in game 4, and I think it's shown, but Derek Lively has been phenomenal. And let's just go back.
He's been really good as a rookie. He's been solid as a rookie for the playoffs.
And I just want to go back to, before we launched the podcast, we was talking on the podcast, we did the draft and we did our draft takeaways. And I said one of my favorite draft picks of that night was the Mavs getting Derek Lively. I thought he can do a lot for this basketball team and for Luka, and he's showing it. He's showing it. And I'm gonna throw this out there. Chutella strikes again with that one as well. Forecasting the future. But yeah,
this man knows everything. I swear.
And PJ Walker and Derek Gafford as well has been holding their own as well. So I just think as an all around basketball team, the Mavs 2 stars plus the role players are showing up. Whereas though, one of the 2 stars, actually both stars, I'm gonna be honest, both stars for the Wolves, one hasn't been shooting the basketball good, and the other one's just been horrible all around and plays small. And then you auxiliary pieces besides, outside of Naz Reid, who had a phenomenal game 3. Was it game 3? No, he had a phenomenal game 2 when he made 7 threes.
He kept him in the game, and that's when Cat got benched that game.
He kept him in the game until Luka did what Luka do.
Yep.
But all in all, I just think Dallas is the better basketball team. I had them winning this series in 6. They might win it in 5. Wouldn't be surprised if they do win it in 6 at the end of the day. But I just thought they were the better basketball team with the better 2 stars that are just a lot more reliable when you need them to be reliable.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why I put my stock. Looking back at it,
you was drinking that Ant-Man and next Michael Jordan Kool-Aid.
I guess I really was. Anthony Edwards, phenomenal player, but his shooting has not been the best this whole series. And he's just not there yet. I thought he was going to be there, but he's just not there yet. He's just not ready yet. And now I'm not saying he's never going to be ready. He's just not there yet right now. He's been underwhelming a bit. He's very, very young. He's been a tiny bit underwhelming. But the supporting players, such as Cat and Rudy Gobert, oh, dude, you guys suck. I'm sorry. I know I had you guys both top 5 in your positions preseason rankings, but nah, you guys ain't it, gang. I ain't gonna lie. Like Rudy Gobert, I don't know how you won DPOY. You won it, but like I thought it should have been Wemby. I said it. I've been
I
saying
had
it.
Wemby too.
I had Wemby. And then Cat, bro, again, you from Jersey, dog. You can't be playing this soft, bro. Like you 7 feet, bro. Drop to the rack. Put your head down. Put your shoulder down. Like, bro, go in the paint. Make some plays. Like, you're not a great shooter, bro. Like, you make a couple threes here and there, but bro, you're not that guy. Like, stop doing that.
Bro, I
And
think
because
he's
both
Steph. You think
exactly,
he's
because
7 foot Steph?
like what? Like, bro, I like just because you light skin don't mean you like Steph, bro. Like, you know where you're on Steph level, bro.
Chill, we don't claim him. We don't claim him over here.
I'm
We
about
don't
to say
claim him
that,
over
that's
here.
almost that's your man's. That's your man's.
After all that, hear that.
Nah, but this is like what like no. This Minnesota team, great defense, pretty good roster. But Anthony Edwards shooting the ball has been underwhelming. Rudy Gobert and Cat haven't played the best. Like the supporting players like Kyle Anderson, Mike Conley, Nas Reed, he's been great as well. It's been a couple games where Nas Reed went crazy, especially game 2, and they put him in. They kept him in the game longer than they kept Cat. Like that's just saying something. And then Rudy Gobert, they look so much better without him. Like Khalil said, it's just so apparent, bro. But Dallas has definitely had that number every game besides game 4. Like Luka did his thing. Game 2, he clutched it, but Luka just do what Luka do. Him and Kyrie, they have the best backcourt out of the whole playoffs, whether your team's eliminated or not. Luka and Kyrie got it. I'm sorry, like they've been going off every single game. And I mean, game 4 was their only probably slow game.
I mean,
Luka
yeah,
and
that was the
Kyrie,
only game they really didn't shoot the basketball too well in.
yeah, it's just game 4. But other than that, they've been killing them. And every game, it's like Luka, like, yo, y'all can't hold me, y'all can't guard me. Every game, Kyrie's like, bro, I got you. And you know what's crazy? Anthony Edwards called out Kyrie Irving prior to the series. He's getting what he wanted. He's
Well,
gassed.
he said he asked for the smoke and he got exactly what he asked for. He said he wanted that smoke. But listen, he's probably the first player in NBA history to ever call out and say he want to guard Kyrie. So I don't know
Exactly,
nobody who ever want to guard
because
Kyrie.
exactly because no one wants to mess with Kyrie. Like this man is probably one of the most talented players to ever touch a basketball in NBA history.
I
And
think he's
Kyrie's
the
only
most skilled to ever touch it. Ever.
that's what I'm
Ever.
saying. Like that, bro. Like that's very highly debatable. Like you could like, bro. It's he's in that conversation for real, for real. You called him out. I get the confidence, but bad moment, bad time. Kyrie's making Edwards eat his words right now. Like it's crazy. But all in all, again, I bet money with Khalil, and Khalil is going to get his money back. I got a little bit too confident. Not gonna lie. I put my stock
Who
in the Ant
knows?
Man and the Wolves. I'm not
Listen,
gonna, I'm not gonna look at the
who
camera.
knows?
I'm not looking at the camera while I'm saying this.
Listen,
But
hold on.
Khalil, no, I'm not looking at the camera.
I
I'm
didn't
looking
even
at
know what I
TV.
was saying there. All
What do
I'm
you want,
saying,
bro?
who knows? You might have an opportunity next week to win it back. Who knows? Who
Oh,
knows?
you already know who I'm picking. So you already know who I'm picking. So
Who knows? I don't know. I
we'll
don't,
see.
but we'll see.
We'll
That's all I'm
see.
gonna say about that.
But prior to us posting this episode, I think Dallas will definitely get it done in 5.
Yeah. Wow, look, you came around. But I mean, I think one of the biggest things as well, when you look at this Minnesota team, they were built to beat Denver. But I don't think this team was built to beat a team like the Mavs. You know, when you have two guards that can put the ball in the bat in the cup the way these two can. Like Jamal Murray was the only guy for Denver, you know, off the dribble that can create his own shot. You know, pretty much Jokic could do his thing, but he's a big. You know, you got 3 bigs that you could throw at Jokic, you know, to handle that. But as far as guard positions, yeah, it's already a tall task to guard Luka and Kyrie, and then yeah,
Don't worry
it's
about
just a lot.
PJ Washington. Gaffer has been playing well as a big man. Jones has been playing well as a big man. Josh Green, he does what he has to do at sometimes. They still got Hardaway Jr. on the bench. I don't really see him getting too much minutes, but he still got it if you can utilize as well. Like
Which is
this Dallas
surprising
team,
because think
exactly.
about it, just 2 years, like just a year ago, he was probably their second best player on the team.
Exactly. So it's like, man, look, I'm gonna say this. Dallas, thank y'all for taking my money. But Dallas definitely deserves to go to the NBA Finals if I'm keeping it real.
Okay. I'm gonna save all NBA Finals questions for next week because
Most def.
the way it's looking, we're gonna have a lot to talk about come Monday. So, you know, I'm gonna save that for that. But let's just look forward. Let's just look ahead, man.
That'll do it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for that topic. NBA playoff talk. You know, around the hardwood. You know, we gotta give it to y'all every episode. No Diddy, but give us your
What you
thoughts
mean
and
by that?
opinions.
What
I
you
say
mean
no
by
Diddy,
that,
bro.
gang?
No, I'm not. I'm not giving. I'm not. Hey, I'm not giving it to nobody that's watching. I'm a faithful, composed, abstinent man. Okay.
Man, go ahead, yo. Go ahead.
I am
Go ahead.
faithful
Yo,
and
go
abstinent.
this, bro. We're
You said
not doing
what?
this on the podcast. We're not doing this on the podcast.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, he don't believe me, guys. I'm not a liar. I'm a truth teller. I'm the real truth teller. But give us y'all thoughts and opinions on the conference finals games. How do y'all feel about Boston Celtics heading to the NBA Finals? Do y'all think they can finally get it done? How does a finals win affect Jason Tatum's legacy? Also for the Mavs and Timberwolves. What's your thoughts and opinions on the series overall? The Mavs are most likely going to close out in 5. But how do you guys feel about Dallas Mavericks heading to the NBA Finals? Can they get it done? And how do y'all feel about Minnesota moving forward as a team in the future? Leave that all in the comment section below. All right, let's move on to the next topic. We have a pretty decent card heading to Newark, New Jersey, UFC 302. The main event and co-main event are mainly the top 2 matches we are looking forward to, but we can go over the full card. So let's get right into it. For the first fight in the main card in the welterweight division, we got Randy Brown versus Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos.
Give me Randy Brown. One thing, no homo pause, I like about him is his size, especially at that 170 division. He's 6'3", long rangy guy that can strike. He's a very good striker, and I think as long as he fight at his distance and fight his fight, I think he get the win. I think he could possibly get a finish in this fight. Honestly, you were going into we're going into this fight as 2 strikers, so we're going to see a lot of action on the feet, and I think that favors Randy Brown. Just with his length and his ability to punch and kick. He fight as long, like I said, as long as he fights at his range. I think this is his fight to lose.
Honestly, this fight can be a toss-up. The current odds are Brown is favorite -185, and Zaleski dos Santos is the underdog at 155. So it's kind of a pick 'em in a way, right, Khalil? Would you deem this as a pick 'em in a way? But
Close to it. I mean, not exactly, but close to it. They're not too far apart.
Yeah,
You kind of slightly give the nod to Randy Brown, but they're not too far apart.
yeah, I'm with Vegas on this one. I'm going Randy Brown as well. I feel like he can make some noise in this fight. Definitely move up in the rankings. I feel like he's just a better overall well-rounded striker. Definitely significant strikes is really up there. Takedowns, they're up there as well. 39% is pretty good for a takedown rate. So I got him taking a win. I'm gonna say it goes to decision though, but I got Randy Brown taking a dub. Put on for Jamaica, bro. All right, moving into the next fight on the main card, also in the welterweight division, we got Nico Price taking on Alex Morono.
I'm gonna go Nico Price. It's a close fight. He's the underdog in this fight, plus 220 via ESPN bet. But I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna pick him to get the dub with the decision. In this, I think him having a longer reach. Yeah, I think that's going to play a factor as well. I think he's just a little bit more polished in his jiu-jitsu game than Alex Moreno. Alex Moreno can also, grapple, but I think Nico Price is just a little bit better. And I think as long as like Nico Price, like I said, can keep the distance, operate where he wants to operate, and then control the ground game. I think that's going to be the biggest part. The biggest factor of this fight is who can control the ground game. And I just taking Nico Price as a little bit better grappler. So I'm gonna take him to get the win as the underdog.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm taking Nico Price as well. I'm right with you. Like, definitely because he's a better grappler. I feel like he's definitely going to get this fight. Again, this is their second time fighting, so I'm excited to see what happens. Both of these guys have been in for a little minute in the UFC, but I think Nico Price will definitely get the dub. So I'm taking him right with you, bro. All right, moving on to the third fight of the main card in the middleweight division. We have Kevin Holland looking to avenge his loss against Mike Venom Page. He's facing off against Michael Oleksiejczuk. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that correctly, but hey, hopefully I didn't botch it too much.
I don't know, bro. It's tough.
Yeah, because Kevin Holland played too much. He played too much. He played way too much. Don't even get me started. Matter of fact, I'll let you go first, bro. I'll let you go first, bro.
Feel, bro. Tell me how you feel.
Listen.
Go ahead.
Kevin Holland had the potential to be either a middleweight or a welterweight champion. If he just kept his nose clean and stay serious and actually took this sport serious. Like, again, you could be funny in the octagon. You could bring fans. You could bring excitement and viewership. But I feel like sometimes he don't take it serious, and then he gets caught up. He get caught lacking, and then he just gets beat. Like that last fight against Venom Page. Venom Page UFC debut win was against Kevin Holland. I feel like Kevin Holland just looks. That's what I'm saying. He picked apart slowly, and this is a guy that's just his first fight in the UFC. He picked apart a guy that's been in the UFC for a hot minute, fighting at a veteran. Like he fought a veteran in the UFC and picked him apart. That just makes no sense. Kevin Holland plays way too much. Again, love him as a fighter, but he just played too much for me. So I'm not gonna lie. I'm going with Michael Oleksiejczuk. I got him taking Kevin Holland down. I'm picking another underdog to win this fight. Again, I'm not mad. I'm not being hateful. Don't start with me, guys. But I just feel like Kevin Holland gonna get got in this fight too. He's definitely favored in this fight, but I feel like Kevin Holland gonna play around too much and then I feel like he's gonna lose. Something tell me he's gonna lose, but I can see him winning. I'm gonna take the underdog just because.
I'm actually going with Kevin Holland in this fight. I mean, my biggest gripe is I really don't love him at 185. In my opinion, he's a tweener. Between 170 and 185, I think at 170 he has more of an advantage compared to some of the guys he fight at 185 who could be, a little bit bigger in stature compared to him, and that could be a real issue. But I don't think it'd be an issue in this fight, especially because you're going up against a striker as well. He's going to have the reach advantage by 7 inches, which is could play a big factor. Kevin Holland, is a very good striker. And a lot of people who give him problems are shifty guys that can move around a lot, like an MVP or grapplers who can, grapple him to the ground. But the one thing that is good that it does work for his favor at 185, these guys are slower than the guys that are 170. The 185ers is not as quick twitch as those guys at 170. I think he gets a dub in this one. Honestly, I can potentially see him get the finish, but you never know with Kevin Holland. You gotta wait and see on what Kevin Holland shows up. But I think him giving the loss in the way that he lost and the manner that he lost, that he's gonna come out there with something to prove. And I think he's gonna get the win.
And I hope he can get the win. But like you said, it depends on what Kevin Holland comes out that we see, like what type of time he on that day. And I'm just tired of playing around like picking him and he just lose and play around too much. That's why I said no. What I'm going against him this time. And I feel bad for going against him. I'm gonna eat my words probably, but I don't care. All right, moving on to the co-main event. We got a middleweight showdown. This one's gonna be freaking fireworks. We got Paulo Acosta looking to avenge his loss against Robbie Whitaker earlier this year, facing off against Sean Strickland, who's also coming off a loss against Dricus du Plessis for the middleweight championship. Both guys' implications for top 5 rankings in the middleweight division. But who you got?
Honestly, can I hear your opinion on this one first? I want to hear your opinion.
Paulo Acosta, the dude's jacked. He's shredded. He has the potential. He only had 3 career losses. Adesanya, Marvin Vettori, and Robbie Whitaker earlier this year in February. The potential to be a continuous contender, darn near a champion. But we know obviously that the middleweight division, Adesanya was running it for so long, and he couldn't get past that hump. He had a bounce back win after suffering 2 straight losses, but then this loss against Whitaker, it bumped down a little bit. But Acosta still got it. He can still strike. He's still pretty good at takedowns as well. Now, for Sean Strickland, this guy's an animal. He goes balls to the wall. He's relentless. He's not scared. Again, we still all know him as like the man that got knocked out by Alex Pereira. But this man was just a former UFC middleweight championship. And then he defended his middleweight championship after defeating Israel Adesanya in like a slaughter fest. He beat Adesanya 4-1. He goes and loses it in a questionable judging to Dricus du Plessis. This can get Strickland back into the conversation of a title fight, hopefully. And I got Strickland winning this fight as well. I'm going to go Sean Strickland. I got him taking this. I think it's going to be a shootout, but I don't think Paulo Costa, he just can't get over that hump for me. So I'm going to take Sean Strickland by unanimous decision.
I think if it's a 3-rounder, I'm going to give Paulo Costa a little bit more chance than if it was a 5-rounder. If it's a 5-rounder, I'm going Sean Strickland all the way. But I'm just not the biggest fan of Paulo Costa, as some other people may be. I'm just really not. He's just one of those iffy fighters for me.
I'm not
saying you. I'm not saying you, bro. Like
no, because no. I gotta watch you. I gotta listen to you because you be like throwing shade. I'm like, hold on, wait. You talking about me?
Ladies and gentlemen, do y'all see how defensive Daywan is? He's a very defensive guy.
I have to watch you, bro. Like I gotta listen to you because you be on some subtle shady. Like you be some subtle shady shit.
Bro. You know if I'm talking about you, bro. You know.
Sounds good. Continue.
But yeah, I'm just not the biggest fan of him as some other guys. Sometimes we got to question, is he even going to make the weight? Is he going to show up for the fight? Is he going to be ready to fight when it happens? Like you mentioned, he has 3 losses, but he has 3 losses to, 3 of the top guys in that division. When you talk about, he's 3-4 in his last 4 fights against Adesanya and Vettori. He beat Luke Rockhold, who was pretty much washed at that point. He just came back. I don't even know, like, I doubt he ever fights again. And Robert Whitaker. So, you lost to 3 of the best guys out there in that 185 division. And I don't see you beating Sean Strickland either. I think Sean Strickland, and I'm not the biggest Sean Strickland fan as well. I'm really not, but I think he has something to prove. He's still pissed about that loss between him and Drakus. You know, whichever way you scored it, 3-2 with him or 3-2 Drakus, it was a very, very close fight. You know, it could have
Super
went either
close.
way, but it just did not go in his favor. And I think he wants to get back to that championship reign. I think, if he gets this win, that sets him up to be a number one contender in this division. You still got Izzy out there. He can call his shot whenever he's ready to. You have Robert Whitaker, Jared Cannonier, Vittori, a couple guys, that's knocking on the door
I
that
love
who
his
has an
division.
yeah, that this division is pretty deep. Then you got guys like Hamza Chimaev that's down there ranked at 10. Jack Hermanson, like this is one of the better divisions, and UFC, especially when the fighters do fight. Sometimes the issue is they don't fight as consistently as some of the other divisions or some of the other guys. But I do have Sean Strickland winning this one, and I think he will be in the title fight next to fight for the title.
Really? Let me throw a quick question. Strickland loses this fight. What's next? Is Adesanya going to automatically get DDP?
So I mean, you still got a Cannonier out there who may, you know, call his shot.
Over
Actually,
Whitaker?
no, he fights. He fights next week. Actually, he fights. He's main event and fight night next week. So if he loses, Cannonier has the perfect spot to get in there. And if he wins next week on fight night, he could be setting himself up for a number one contender fight. Or you want to look later down this month, another banger, another big fight night. This 185 division. This is a crucial month for this 185 division because Robert Whitaker and Hamza Chimaev are teeing off later this month in another fight night 2 weeks after. I think no, not 2 weeks, 3 weeks after
It's
this.
a couple weeks after. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 3 weeks
10
after.
June.
Yeah, it's June 22nd to be exact. So this division can honestly shake out and can be a little fuzzy, but to take all confusion away and take all speculation away, I think if Sean Strickland goes out there and does what he needs to do, I think he sets himself up for that number one contender fight. The winner out of Emanov and Cannonier and the winner out of Whitaker and Chimaev can be the next fight for that number one contender fight, maybe on the same card as the fight of Sean Strickland and Dricus Du Plessis rematch. And like I said, we got Israel Adesanya waiting in the wings. We don't know when he's going to come back. It could be a situation while everybody's out there fighting each other. Dana sets up a fight with Adesanya and Dricus Du Plessis, something that we were supposed to see last year. I could see that happening. We kind of seeing that go on right now in the 155 division. We're going to talk about that fight next. But it could be a situation where Izzy steps in there and get that next fight, and we let these 180 fighters, fight their way to the top to see who's next to fight for that belt, whether it's Dricus or is there somebody else that they throw somebody else in there.
All right, let's move on to the main event. For the lightweight championship, Dustin Poirier has entered himself in this conversation yet again. Let's see if he can claim it finally. But the Diamond will be facing off against current champion Islam Makhachev in the main event. Who you got?
I'm not gonna lie. I gotta
Don't
let
tell
you
me go
go
first.
first.
Don't know.
I gotta let you go
See?
first
I
again.
knew he was gonna do that. I just said, don't let me go first. No, because I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get me riled up, bro. Like no weird shit. You're trying to get me riled up.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, do y'all not see how defensive Daywan gets, bro?
Because I know how you are, bro. Listen, all right. I'll go first, guys. I got this one. Everybody in their mom wants Dustin Poirier to win. They really do. Like they're like, Dustin, get it done. We hate Islam. He's boring. A Khabib protege. Even Conor McGregor thinks Dustin Poirier is gonna win. Dustin Poirier is one of the best strikers. He's a great boxer, great stand-up fighter. But when it matters, he just can't get it done. And I wish I would argue with me, say he can. But when it matters, he just can't get it done sometimes. Again, I'm still somewhat of a fan of Dustin Poirier, except when it comes to clutch fights or like title fights, because I know he's not gonna win probably.
Didn't you pick Saint Denis to beat him?
I did.
You
I was about
can't
to say
do
that.
that.
I picked
You
Benoit
can't
Saint
do
Denis.
that.
I picked Benoit Saint Denis, I believe, in March to beat Dustin Poirier. And he was beating Poirier. Poirier shot for like 13. He was beating him until Poirier knocked him out. Let's be real. Stop.
Bro, yeah, he got
Stop.
control
Watch
of
the
that
fight.
fight.
Watch the fight, bro.
He
Watch
got
the fight.
control.
Whatever. But Dustin Poirier, please don't be trying to shoot for like 30 guillotines because nobody wants to watch you shoot for like hella guillotines. Just stand up and fight with Islam. Islam's gonna try to take him down, drag him through the mud the whole fight. Like they already got a plan apparently to beat Dustin Poirier. But in this fight, I am gonna take Islam Makhachev. I'm gonna take it going down to the end. either to the end or it's gonna be like second or third round submission. I don't got Poirier lasting this long unless Poirier is really good standing up and he knocks Makhachev down on some Volkanovski type ish. With Volkanovski, he gave Makhachev a run on his feet standing up, but they robbed Volkanovski. But I don't think Poirier is as an efficient striker as Volkanovski. That's the only thing. But I'm gonna give Poirier the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna say the Poirier can get some licks and get some hits on him. But at the end of the day, I got Makhachev finishing him off in the third round via submission, or it's gonna go down to unanimous decision via Islam Makhachev retaining his title.
I'm tough. This is a tough situation, and like, I have to have some integrity, and when we talk on here, because we hold each other accountable, and I don't like to be wrong. I'm a truth teller at the end of the day, and I gotta uphold that title. That's a lot, to uphold on a podcast basis. It's a high standard that's set for myself, so I gotta uphold that. And
Man's a clown.
so with that being said, I'm gonna pick head over heart. I'm gonna go with Islam Makhachev to beat Dustin Poirier. As much as I love Dustin Poirier, as much as I am a fan of Dustin Poirier, and I'm not really the biggest fan of Islam Makhachev. It's not that I don't respect what he does in the octagon. I just don't respect how he got his shot. So that's the only thing I don't like, and it rubbed me the wrong way because he got placed into a title fight after beating Bobby Green. He went out there, he beat Oliveira, then he hasn't defended his belt against a 155er yet. Do I think Poirier is the best 155er to challenge him for that title for shot? I do not, because the thing that rubs me the wrong way about Dustin Poirier, he puts himself in a lot of bad positions sometimes, and I get it. He's a striker. He bangs. He's an exciting fighter, especially him and Gaethje when they fought. Two of the most exciting fighters, especially not only in the 155 division but all of UFC. But he just takes unnecessary risks sometimes, and it gets him caught in these positions to where he loses fights. We've seen it this is his third title fight. We've seen it when he fought Khabib the first time. So granted is that he got experience against a guy like Khabib, like Islam when he fought Khabib. But even against Oliveira, you put yourself in a tough situation, knowing that Oliveira is a very good submission artist, and you put yourself in a situation to get submitted. And it's just hard for me to see a situation where he doesn't do that against Islam, and Islam doesn't make him pay for it. So for that simple reason, I'm going to take Islam in this fight as well. I just think round three, maybe even round two, like you got it. He's going to do something dumb. Islam, being the great wrestler that he is, I will give them credit. Them Dagestanian wrestling,
they can wrestle like a mo. Ooh, they can wrestle like a mo.
The way they could wrestle, the way that they position their body, they always have 3 points of contact with the octagon or the mat, whatever they're wrestling in. They always seem balanced on top. So they're like, there's just like once they get on top of you, you can't get them off. You can't shake them off. Me and you wrestled before. Those situations where you're fighting a wrestler, and it seems like whatever you do, like you can't move this guy. He's always on top. No matter what move you try to do to escape, he's always a step ahead, and you can't shake him off. So I think that's what it is in this situation. But I do see Islam retaining the belt and walking out of New Jersey, the Prudential Center, as the reigning defending UFC lightweight championship. But my question to you is this: giving all the talk that we've heard from Dustin Poirier, throughout the weeks, even before the Saint Denis fight, stuff like that, do you think if he loses this fight, it's over for him? Do you think he hangs it up?
No, I don't. He talked about retirement in the past before. I can see him probably having one or two more fights in this industry or in this business. I don't see him hanging up completely, but he probably won't get another title shot because you got guys like Charles Oliveira. I mean, he just lost his last fight. You got guys like Arman Sarukian. I think he's next up as well. So it's like, I don't think he hangs it up. But if he wants a title shot, he's gonna have to work hard for it.
It's a tough situation for me because like when you look at it, he's still one of the best fighters in a very, very stacked division. When we talk about the 155 division, you got Michael Chandler, you got My bad. Hold
Oh,
up.
I forgot about Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje,
I
he's
was about to
still in
say,
here.
I was about to
I
say,
forgot
you
about him.
got Michael Chandler, you got Sarukian, you got Oliveira, you got Gaethje, you got a Gamrot, you got a Dariush, you
Yeah.
got a Fazid, even a Max Holloway who's now ranked in this division. Who
Yeah.
knows if he wants to stay in that 155 division? We could see him
Facts.
getting a title shot very soon if he doesn't want to go back down to 45 and go take that, try to go get that belt from Taportia. So this is a very, very stacked division. So like it's going to be a hard, hard battle, and I think he just might be one of those guys that, if he loses this one, he's going to be an exciting fight on whatever card he's on. That's going to go without saying. But from a standpoint of us fighting for a belt again, I don't see it. And sometimes it's like, fighters have the realization of, what am I doing this for if I'm not fighting it for the belt? Like, there's certain fighters, you got, your DCs and stuff like that, once they're not competing for a title, they hang it up. Or you got guy, why you make that face, bro? Why you
My
make
bad.
that face, bro?
My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. I heard nah, it's something in my eye. It's something in my eye. My bad,
Oh,
bro.
yo, you're a hater, bro.
My bad.
You're
It's
a
something in my
hater.
eye, bro. It's something in my eye, bro. Keep going.
I'm
Keep going.
not, I'm
I'm
not
so sorry.
with you, bro. But like I said, bro, you got those guys that if they're not competing for a championship, like there's no point in them doing it no more. And then you got guys like a Tony Ferguson or Robbie Lawler who stays around maybe too long. So he might be one of those guys that hang it up early, or even Habib. Habib was another guy who hang it up early. So I think it's tough to say, and I would hate for this to be how he leaves, but I also wouldn't be shocked if this was his last fight. What do you think is next for the 155 division? Who do you think is next up?
If Makachev wins this fight, I want to see Sarukian get it, man. I want to see Sarukian versus Makachev. I feel like Sarukian, he's an animal. Like I feel like he's the most ready for this 155 title shot. Or, I mean, we talk about Max Holloway a little bit. I mean,
Oh
his win,
no, no, no.
probably not. That's a reach, but still, I would love to see it because his win over Gaethje still got me like, I just replayed it in my head. Even though, yes, I picked against Max that fight, but don't bring that up, guys. Let it be. It's okay.
And he wants to
But
be the truth teller.
shut up. But anyway, I'm gonna say Sarukian, Armin Sarukian next if Makhachev wins.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think it's gonna be Arman Suruki as well. I really don't. I'm really not entertaining the thought of Max Holloway competing at the 155 division full time. He is ranked within the 155 division. He's ranked ninth, which is shockingly because he knocked out the number 3 fighter in his division, but he's ranked ninth in the division. But I think he set himself up for a very, very title shot against Taportia in that 145 division. When you look at it, I mean, who else are you going to put in there? Ortega, maybe he just beat Yair Rodriguez, but nah.
Volk rematch with
I
Taporia.
think I think
We
Volk's
gotta
taking.
entertain it. We gotta entertain it. But he gotta take some time off. He has to take some time off. He has to.
I
He
like
has to take time
we
off.
can sit here and entertain it, but I think he should take some time off. He's lost
Facts.
3 of his last 4 fights. So it's probably one of those situations where you go back to the drawing board, you reset, kind of like Izzy or Adesanya is doing. They're on the same team, so I can see them both taking some time off. Honing their skills. Just working. Behind the scenes and come back when they feel like they're ready. But I think for the meantime, not to hold up this division, I think Max Holloway is the perfect guy to throw out there right now at that 145 division. So I don't really see him fighting at the 155 ranks. But so at the 155 ranks, I really like the idea of Arman Sarukian because the next 3 guys behind him, Oliveira lost to Sarukian, Gaethje lost to Holloway, Poirier. If he loses to Islam, he's kind of out of there. Gamrot, is sitting waiting in
Not
the
ready.
wings, but yeah, I
Not ready
think he
yet.
has to get it. I think he has to get another fight under his belt because the last
Yeah.
person he beat is RDA. I mean, RDA is not the guy that he used to be. We do have a Chandler and McGregor fight coming up. That could be big. And Conor McGregor might be in the mix. He go out there and beat Chandler. You know how it is with Conor McGregor. He gets a little bump up. He gets kind of slided into a position he may not deserve because of the name that he has and the buzz he's created for himself. So I can see a situation where Conor McGregor end up, real close to that title shot as well. But I think Arman Sarukian will be next. And I think that would be the best matchup for Islam Makhachev to knock off at Islam Makhachev.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, those are our UFC 302 predictions. Again, it's going down this Saturday at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Give us your thoughts and predictions and comments on the main card. But again, make sure you guys tap in, check it out this Saturday, preferably on ESPN Plus. Again, like I always say, I'm not telling you how to watch it, but ESPN Plus is the way
I
we're gonna
hate
do
you,
it. We're gonna do
bro.
things the right way. All right, let's move into the last topic of the night. The Chicago Bears have been announced to be on HBO Hard Knocks for the preseason. What's your thoughts and opinions on this?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I like it. I
I,
really don't think
I
I
don't
like
either.
and I get the buzz, I get the fair. You got Caleb Williams, the #1 overall draft pick. You do got Roma Doomsday. You got Keenan Allen. You got DJ Moore. You got Cole Kmet. You got this revamped offense. You got a very, very good, solid defense on the other side. Okay,
Yeah.
we make for good storylines. But I just don't. It will give us a spotlight on Caleb Williams to see the type of person and type of player that he is and how he's maturing in camp. And it could be a good thing or a bad thing for a rookie. And I just don't want him to be put in that situation, where he the spotlight you can't seamlessly transition. You can't have that that camp experience, whether it's good or bad, because there's going to be a microscope. There's going to be so many cameras around recording your every move, everything you do. And I think that could be not a detriment, but it could just put a bad light on him or there's a Bears organization. Because just thinking back of one of the very like one of the more recent times of a situation like this, I think I go back to the Baker Mayfield situation, and that didn't look too good. If you could
Didn't.
remember, he got told congratulations, you won the backup spot.
Backup
Like
job.
stuff you see stuff like that happens. Like, oh wow, he was competing for the backup spot. Obviously, Caleb Williams has already been named the #1 overall pick. But for a guy that doesn't have the best rep, for some of the fans, maybe he's selfish, self-centered, only cares about himself, cares about his brand, only he's going to do stuff that's like it might help him out in that image. But if he has a rough camp or not the best camp, growing through rookie pains is a different adjustment. You already hear some of the buzz.
I'm about to say, you hear some of the stuff
OTA.
that's going on?
Yeah,
You hear some of the stuff
you
that's
hear
going
some of
on,
the
bro?
buzz within the OTA. He's only completed 3 passes. He completed 3 passes one day in a 7-on-7 and stuff like that. You're gonna have days like that. But when the microscope is so much more dialed in on you because you're the focal point, you're the focal team of the preseason because everybody locks into Hard Knocks because it's closest thing to regular season football that we're gonna get because some people really don't watch the preseason too much, but rather watch Hard
Facts.
Knocks. It'd
Facts.
be tough. Not the biggest fan of it from that standpoint. I think it could be an interesting. It could turn out to be an interesting show because of everything that Chicago done and did throughout the offseason. But like I said, it's just tough for a rookie quarterback. I wouldn't wish that on any rookie quarterback. I don't care who you are.
Caleb Williams, you want the spotlight? You about to get it. Like Khalil said, there's gonna be a big old microscope, telescope, magnifying glass. They're gonna be just like this. Like again, we're already hearing reports about Caleb Williams and OTAs about all the interceptions he's throwing and incompletions, and he's looking dreadful. He got benched. These are all part of growing rookie pains. I do agree. But now this is gonna be on public TV on HBO. Like Khalil said, every real football fan is gonna be tapping into Hard Knocks. I watch every year. I don't miss an episode of Hard Knocks. I love it because it's so thorough and authentic. You see the behind the scenes stuff, and I love it. But this team is young. Like you got the #1 overall pick, you got a top 10 draft pick in Roman Dunze. You got DJ Moore, Cole Kmet. You got a young defense. You got a team that's trying to reveal their identity and tell this world and tell the NFL who they really are. And this Hard Knocks preseason is really going to tell us who they really are, like going into the season. It's going to be great for the fans to see who the Bears really are. A lot of people don't really like Caleb Williams. They're going to try to find a way to like crap on him, say like, oh, this guy paints his nails, all this other stuff. Yes, he does a lot of weird, questionable stuff. Spotlight's definitely going to be on him. But
It's the
I'm really
generation though.
Exactly. It's just he's part of the Gen Z nonsense. Whatever that is. Who cares about that? We're not gonna talk about it on this
Like
podcast.
you're not Gen Z.
Who? I'm not no freaking Gen Z. Don't
Yes, you
disrespect me
are.
like that.
What year were you born?
98.
You're a Gen Zer.
No, F out of here. Don't do that, bro.
You
Anyway,
are.
okay,
I told
you're
you,
born
bro.
no.
He's
See?
a hard. He's stubborn. He's in denial a lot. He's hard.
No.
It's okay, bro.
BS.
It's okay. I know I want to.
Whatever.
It's all
I'm
right.
gonna say don't do that.
97 and after, you're Gen Zer. Sorry.
Bull crap. But anyway, I'm definitely excited to see what the NFL is gonna bring to the Chicago Bears. Again, this is a young team that's trying to reveal themselves and show us who they really are. This could be a good thing or a bad thing for the Bears, let alone Caleb Williams at the helm. But ladies and gentlemen, give us your thoughts and opinions about the Chicago Bears being selected for HBO Hard Knocks. Let us know in the comment section how you guys feel about the Chicago Bears being selected for Hard Knocks. Do you guys think this is going to be a good thing or a bad thing for the Bears? And what are you hoping to see? What are you most excited to see for the Chicago Bears training camp of Hard Knocks? Leave that all in the comment section below. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for episode 66 of Before the Horn podcast. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe. The 4 essential important things to help us grow as a platform. We appreciate you guys, all the support you guys been giving us. We love it. We love everything that y'all been doing for us. Keep going. Keep supporting us. Keep putting these videos out there. Also, make sure you guys check into our Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you guys can support us in all ways. Help us grow as a platform. Get us out there. You know, Patreon gives you so many perks, but you can know the perks if you hit the link in the description box below.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Make sure you, first thing first, if you haven't yet, go tune into our first Q&A that got dropped
Please do.
on Tuesday with my cousin, professional track athlete Maurice Knock, former USF track lead. It's a very, very good interview. You guys should tune in. Some gems drop. So if you haven't watched it yet, go tune in. Give us your thoughts and opinions on that. Tell us how you like it. Tell us, do you want to see more Q&As? If you got any ideas of people that you may want to hear from as Q&A, let us know. But for the meantime, make sure you guys follow us on Instagram at Before the Horn Podcast, TikTok and Twitter at Before the Horn Pod. If you want to stay up to date on anything that we're doing and everything that we got going on, we appreciate the love and support. Make sure you guys keep viewing, keep commenting, keep subscribing. We got a lot coming for you coming real soon. So can't wait to, drop all the stuff we've been working on. But for the meantime, make sure you keep showing love. Make sure you follow us on Instagram as well, at our personal Instagrams as well, if you want to stay tapped in with us as well. But till next time, thank you.
Hey, episode 66 is now in the books. Thank y'all for tapping in. We shall see you guys on the next one. Peace.